I thought I was alone. Good evening.
Hi. How the hell did you get in here? Greetings once again, my fellow horror fanatics. You know, when most people think about depictions of low-key homosexuality in cinema, and particularly horror, they're liable to mention A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Even though low-key is probably not the best word to describe that film. And indeed, I recently watched the documentary Scream Queen, detailing Nightmare on Elm Street 2's production and the life and times of its star Mark Patton, who I had the good luck to meet at the Chiller Theater Expo a couple of years ago. Very nice guy who's led quite a life, so I do recommend that documentary. But almost 50 years before Jesse gyrated his way across our screens with a pop gun on his crotch, there was another character who hit the silver screen to show the struggles of a man not only in denial, but trapped in incredibly condemning times that would not let him be himself. And as the intro probably showed you, I'm referring to Dr. Pretorius of Bride of Frankenstein.
Much like Nightmare on Elm Street 2, you had a director and an artist who were perhaps using their art as a means of expression for their own frustrations. James Whale was as openly gay as he could be in the 1930s, and he frequently included elements of camp into his films, perhaps as a way of spoofing society's expectations. Ernest Thesiger, who portrayed Pretorius, is also largely believed to have been closeted, and he frequently granted his characters rather effeminate mannerisms and traits. And in point of fact, in their collaboration for this project, Whale openly instructed Thesiger to portray Pretorius as, and I am quoting, a bitch.
But beyond even that little bit of behind-the-scenes information, it is in the writing itself that we get a hint of Pretorius's true nature and his real intentions.
If you recall, when we first meet Pretorius, he arrives declaring himself a former instructor of Henry Frankenstein who was booted out of his university position for knowing too much, yet it remains unsaid just what he knows and about whom. He displays an immediately antagonistic attitude to Henry's bride-to-be Elizabeth, and proceeds to lure Henry from his very marital bed with a suggestion that they engage in an act of artificial procreation.
But not only does Pretorius appear to us as this figure of masculine allure, but he also expresses a rather flippant attitude toward the social mores of his time, such as in his dialogue.
The next one is the very devil. Very bizarre, this little chap. There's a certain resemblance to me, don't you think? Or do I flatter myself? I took a great deal of pains with him. Sometimes I have wondered whether life wouldn't be much more amusing if we were all devils, and no nonsense about angels and being good.
I ask you, is Pretorius expressing admiration simply for the evil of the devil, or is there another meaning that perhaps he wishes to cast off the restrictions and the mores of society, to be his true self? It should be further noted that in a novelization that accompanied the film's release, there was a line of dialogue not featured in the film, in which Pretorius would pronounce to Henry Frankenstein, "Does the biblical injuncture not instruct us to go forth and be fruitful? For you, Henry, there is the natural alternative, but for others such as myself, there is only the scientific route." Not an exact quote, by the way, sorry. But it should also be considered that novelizations that accompany a film's release very often are based on early versions of the script, and hence they can feature scenes and dialogue that end up not making it into the actual film. Could this be the case? And what does it tell us about Pretorius?
Pretorius's reasons for wanting to create life with Henry Frankenstein are further revealed to us when he meets the monster and immediately befriends it. He takes the monster in, almost adopting it, taking on a nurturing role, as indeed his relationship with Henry quickly descends to resemble a bickering old married couple. And not unlike real life, it is the embittered spouse who resorts to manipulating the child against its own parent.
And indeed, it is in that bickering parental relationship that we begin to get an even deeper look at Pretorius's true nature. Because remember how Whale instructed Thesiger to bitch it up? Well, as Henry starts to get cold feet, apparently questioning engaging in an act of artificial procreation with another man, a bitch is just what Pretorius becomes.
Remember how Pretorius was immediately antagonistic to Elizabeth? Well, like any jilted lover, he takes it up to the nines by having Elizabeth kidnapped. In the context of the film, he's simply blackmailing Henry into finishing their experiment, or maybe he's acting the part of a jilted lover trying to get the competition out of the way. But as we all know in the end, as any such manipulations are bound, his plot fails. The monster turns against him, just like a child who's finally matured enough to realize just how he's been twisted and turned against his parent.
So, now that we've examined all the evidence, does Pretorius as a closeted gay man detract from this film in any way? Absolutely not. It would not be as memorable, enjoyable, and influential of a film without it. What at first seems to be just simple eccentricity is actually a richly nuanced piece of writing and performing by a criminally underrated actor and a once-in-a-generation director. We should in fact be very proud that as a society, we've come far enough that so many now can live openly, because it's got to be the real-life horror of leading a life that isn't true, being trapped in that closet, that can lead a person into the kind of madness that we see in Dr. Pretorius. I am, as always, your host, the Nightmare Nerd. Thank you for joining me for these retrospective videos for Pride Month. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. As always, eat, drink, and be scary, and join me for more videos, because we've got more to come. I hope you will all enjoy being a part of this journey as we head off into, in the words of the good doctor,
To a new world of gods and monsters.